this week is President and CEO Elizabeth Fisher of Selah Freedom. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are such a busy lady, and you've added on so many events recently, and it's a pleasure to have you back.
Thank you.
So for those few people out there who don't know what Selah Freedom is, please tell us again what it is and what your mission is.
Because there's more than a few. Unfortunately, you know, every time I go somewhere, people are like, well, no, it's not really a problem here. You know, they love that we're in Chicago now, that we're in New York now. That makes sense to them, but there's no accident that it started in Sarasota, Florida, because Florida is top 3 state in the country. Our region is still vacillates between number 2 and 3 of the problem being in the state.
Mind-boggling.
Of our own children. So that's the thing to clarify. Our own children bought by our own people. Nothing international that I'm dealing with.
So when you say that, can you give us like numbers? How does that look in our community?
Help them understand. Yeah, because the root of it is what hooked me, because 1 out of 3 little girls today are dealing with sexual abuse. That's the root. So really
starting
right here.
At what age?
2, 3, 4 years old, by the very people that are supposed to protect them, love them, and care for them. We're talking fathers, moms, boyfriends, brothers, uncles, pastors,
relatives,
teachers, coaches.
Yes, people close
to them.
And
it's coming out more and more now, which is awesome, but it's also, that's why we're tripling in growth every year. People are like, how are you doing so much? I'm like, the need. We cannot get ahead of the need. So these little girls are keeping these secrets of being abused, and then by 12 to 14, something just blows. They can't keep it. And that's when, for the ones that we really deal with, those girls tend to hit the streets to run away, like anything but that. And the stats tell us no matter where you live, within 48 hours, 80% of those little girls would be approached by a guy, knows exactly what to say, lures them in. They don't know love. So they're like, oh, a boyfriend, he might be 40 and I'm 15. But they sell them.
They'll take care of me, and they think they'll feel safe, right?
And they get sold for sex 15 to 40 times a day, typically for 7 years, right here.
Amazing.
Right here.
How can parents, grandparents, who's ever a child caregiver, how can they protect their children?
You know what, it's so funny, because I just had a conversation with Vanessa, my director of awareness. There are so many things. I still have a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old, and the social media, like trying to stay ahead of it. We were all in New York this past weekend, and one of them was showing me what they were doing. They weren't showing me, I found it. I'm like, what is that? And so she was telling me today, hey, we've always heard about Tinder, but do you know that there's now this? And you know that Instagram has fake accounts, so kids are showing you one account, but they have these mock accounts under it. So we're gonna do, coming up soon, and I'll let you know, a sex lies in social media for parents, how to protect your tweens and teens, because really you got to get in the 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds, because they all have. A recent study from American Pediatrics said that by the age of 4, 75% of children are now given smartphones.
It's true.
Age 4.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
So we need to teach the parents where the predators are coming in. There's a lot to learn.
Well, how can our community get involved?
You know what, there's so many fun ways. You have an event that is coming up. I don't know if you guys have the information to show on that, but it's the first big event in Sarasota on the rooftop of the Westin. I know, so it's November 15th, and I'm going to meet with our graduate right after I meet with you here, and prepping her. She's going to share for the first time
at the event
publicly. Yep, she has her bachelor's degree. She got her victims advocacy degree
through programs that you have
coming through. Yeah, and she is on staff, and the women are loving her. She is out there like an amazing advocate. So she'll be speaking. And that will sell out. So I'd really recommend, because they're capping us at a certain number.
November 15th, 7 to 9.
Yes.
Rooftop of the Westin.
Rooftop of the Westin. Beautiful event. And one more thing, that, well, we need volunteers always in all different aspects, but a lot of people don't know we have a retail store, Selah V, S-E-L-A-H-V-I-E. And it's upscale, resale, clothing, furniture, reclaimed stuff. And we are expanding into a Selah Village, so Selah V, Selah T, but we're looking for other partners. And we're partnering with Rent the Runway out of New York for our upcoming fashion show. And so they're going to start doing pop-ups with us in our boutique.
Excellent.
So for all the season dresses that you need, Rent the Runway is going to be doing some stuff with us here.
Now, for a final question for you today, what is the greatest need, do you feel?
You know, I think the greatest need, unfortunately, is still awareness. I can't even tell you how many people I run into, like, you know about it and you care about it, but I would say 8 out of 10 people on the street still don't. And just to help them know, because if you don't know, you don't even know that you can protect your kid, or that you can be doing something to advocate for what you might be seeing every day that you don't realize you're seeing.
And all of this is on your website, so we will put that on the
volunteer information, connecting.
And what is it? please.
The website is www.selah, so Selah is like the Hebrew word rest, pause, S-E-L-A-H, freedom.com.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for being with us again today, and see you at your event.
Very good. Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Suncoast FYI, where you will return after a short break.